All right. This is not a 3 minutes to save the world thing, but good morning, good afternoon, whatever it may be. Subconscious criteria, survival roles, aka trauma. I prefer to call them survival roles that go into the subconscious. You know, they say our conscious decisions are governed by like 97%. Some people say 95, some people say 97, some people say as high as 98, 99% governs our conscious decisions. So if this is being true, and I do believe it is at this point, it's like all our conscious decisions, the reason we can't get what we want or stay on track or whatever, because that subconscious criteria and beliefs has got to be changed first. That's what's got to be worked on, and that's what makes it tricky, because it's in the subconscious, it's below conscious mind. Like for me, all my life, you know, I've always had this self-sabotage that I could never exactly pin down. I forgot to hit the timer. I was going to keep that 12 minutes. All right. I could never fully articulate what the thing was. I always knew deep down it was all on me, always deep down. And I'd always come to places where I'd try to talk about it with certain people, and they'd be like, no, it's this or that, or them, or those people are wrong, or they did you wrong, or this was wrong, or that. But there was always that underlying feeling that something deep down is like, no, there's some kind of mechanism in me that is inherently wrong. And I know now it is. And you know, at this year of 2025, now we're winding down to this whole year, looking at this, I thought this was the year that I'd finally break the chains. And I think I am as of today. This is so cool, so cool. It sucks so bad, and yet it is so cool at the same time. See, I'm sitting in an apartment that's empty. And, you know, the roommates I got, my oldest daughter and her boyfriend, you know, this was the plan of do 2025, take a couple of years, 2025, 26, and build each other up and dig each other out of debt. And you know what? Looking back on it, it's like I allowed that self-sabotage to happen. I got a couple of negotiables that I've never fully articulated, and I've never come fully conscious to mind. Okay, now having said that, hold that thought. Let's break it, and let's go into the psychology of the psychology. All right, when you're studying these certain things of the mind and the subconscious mind, and you're doing these things day after day after day after day, you're going month on month on month, and you're not letting up on it. You're doing the things. You're planting the seeds in the morning. You're planting the seeds at night. Upon awakening, you wake up, the first thought in your mind, you put that baby in gear and you start driving it. Don't pick up the phone, don't check the emails, don't do this. No, you pick up and you start saying whatever kind of affirmation prayers or whatever mantras or whatever you call it or whatever you do, plant them seeds first. I honestly believe that. And deep down, I've always known that was something. And also going to sleep. Plant them seeds at sleep. All right, now having said that, this is what's trippy. Throughout these past few years, several years, since I started this journey on September 15th, 2018, when I decided I was either going to fully commit to living somehow successful, whatever that means, or fully commit to dying and make that happen, whatever that means. But I was started doing this constant, consistent failure thing that has always happened all my life, ever since childhood, nothing but failure of relationships, failure of money, failure of being, failure of doing, failure of not doing, failure of not being. All of it just one big conglomeration of fucking failure. Excuse my French. All right. Now, having said that, on that day, once again, I was at a place to where it's like a relationship collapse that I was in. Of course, it was one of those self-sabotaging relationships. I got into a relationship with somebody who has just as much trauma, unresolved, unprocessed, unnamed, unclarified traumas and hurts than me, because that was my style. Try to pick someone worse than me so that way, I could be looking at all their crap. It's like, it's all them, it's all them, it's all them. See, now that we got that clarified out. Okay, now here's the other thing. This is so trippy. Throughout these years, these past several years, these things have been happening to me. A couple of things. One is premonitions, almost like, I don't want to call it like a psychic ability, but like at one point in these past several years, it was so intense, I thought that I might have like some kind of brain cancer or something, because I was having like these deja vus every day for weeks and weeks on end, and it was scaring me, and I really didn't have nobody to talk to about it. So I did what any common sense person would do. I talked to a psychic about it. That was several years ago. Of course, we haven't had that going on much like that. But anyways, there's this thing that happens that is so cool, and it gives me so much hope, and it gives me strength, and it gives me enlightenment, and it gives me the courage to step forward into maybe changing the world into a better place. Not just my life, but the world, humanity. And this something will wake me up in the middle of the night, in my deepest part of sleep. It's somewhere within that 1 hour to like hour and a half to 2 hours, somewhere is right there in that little window, right there before waking up, right before the alarm goes off, when you're at that deepest part of sleep, you know what I'm talking about? Right there. There's this thing that has happened probably around a dozen times or so in these past 8 years, where it will wake me up. It's like, boom, wake up. And I get up and it's like I can see this thought. And I'll grab a pen and paper. And then something like this will pop out. Usually it'll be like one paragraph or 2 paragraphs or a couple of sentences. Or it's never more than 1 page, I'll tell you that. It is never a full page, never. It's a part of a page. But anyways, this happened this morning. And just yesterday, just last night, I was consumed in this crazy, I don't even like saying it because it's so unmanly and it's so uncouth. I was caught in this wave of this goddamn self-pity bullshit that just freaking covered me like a blanket. Ugh. And I was stuck that way, and I've been stuck that way for about 48 hours now. Trying to swallow the fact that I'm in this position I am right here, right now, because it's a totality of all my thoughts, all my actions, or all my inactions, and all the choices and all the non-choices. This is me, right here, right now. None of this has to do with outside circumstances. And no, it's not negotiable. That is not negotiable. That is truly what it is. In fact, I will not talk to anyone who's going to say, oh, well, they did this or they didn't do that, or, you did this and, they did you wrong or that. No, no, it's on me 100%. Period. And you know what? I look back on my life, and if I would ever hold to my guns what I know to be right and true deep down, I've always had that throughout my life, deep down, that it was all on me, that there was something inside me that needed to be fixed, corrected, adjusted, something, but could never clarify it. It's a couple of things. It says beliefs of what I can and can't be, what I can have and what I can't have. But anyways, I've been hacking on that ever since. What I just told you, I've already seen that, 8 years ago when I started studying the psychology of this psychology thing. But this thing popped out this morning, and this changed my whole outlook on it, even though it's looking pretty bleak. I mean, I'm talking like wintertime homeless bleak, because I will not go back into anywhere with any people that are willing to help me to have victim mentality, or to not own every single bit of my life. Every bit of it, and to say, that is your responsibility, you brought that on yourself 100%, whether consciously, unconsciously, subconsciously, whatever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I will not talk to people like that. right here. And now I realize that's what I've been needing. And it's this piece of paper that came out this morning. And this is what came out. And it's about transparency. It's about accountability. Everywhere I've ever lived throughout my life, and roommates and stuff, and we have these plans. We're going to build each other up. We're going to do this and we're going to do that. But deep down, I always knew that we needed to have accountability of incoming money, outgoing money, transparency and honesty of relationships and what they are, not bullshitting them, not smoozing them over. Instead of being roommates with somebody and be like, oh, I see your relationship seems like it's kind of turned devious, like you're like placing some misplaced anger on that person and you're not clarifying it or whatever, and it's going to turn toxic, and you're going to wind up having that relationship where it's toxic and it is not true love. And to have people like that to where you can say that and then them examine it and then them adjust their course and be honest about it instead of digging their heels deeper and staying on outside circumstances and say, nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. Nope, can't be. Nope, stay out of our relationship. It's not yours, it's ours. But you know what? I've made a decision right here, right now. These are my non-negotiables. People, anyone who cannot or will not be able to lay out their paycheck, what's coming in, what's going out, what they're spending on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, and be straight up about it. And also relationships, be straight up about their relationships with their family, relationships with their friends, relationships with lovers, relationships of sexuality, all that. If they will not be an introspective person, no more. I will rather stay in a freaking tent out in the goddamn woods by myself with my pen and paper, perfecting the craft. And that craft, it's the same mission and purpose that I had 8 years ago. Still the same thing, same little piece of paper I look at every single day. And that craft, my mission is to find and identify the things that cause failure in the human psyche and to share that and to make that plain for the world to see. And my purpose is to provide simple solutions for overcoming those failures so that nobody has to live trapped in ego, in poverty, and hopelessness. And it's all about the truthful honesty. It's all about being able to live and be and have a truthful honesty and stay in that every single day. It's about liberty's freedom to walk in a sovereignty. All right, that's 12 minutes. Time to head to the stage. Right now, so mad at myself, and yet at the same time, I'm so disgusted with myself to where I want to throw up. And yet at the same time, I'm enlightened because I have never, what I just told you right now, I have never been able to voice that that's what I want and that's what I need. Straight up accountability. Straight up transparency. And I have never been around anyone or found anyone that I can have it. I found it here and there in 12-step groups and stuff, but it's still not whole. It's not wholesome. It's not anything I would call straight up integrity. It's not what I'd call straight up. Anyways, I'm going to keep talking. I ain't doing that. 12 minutes. See you later. Have a good one. It's time to live in straight up accountability, justice, and forgiveness. And justice does not mean punishment or revenge. Justice means seeing what's truly there and what needs to be fixed or can't be fixed. And then the forgiveness naturally happens if you have accountability and justice. And without those three things, those three values at their highest, that accountability, transparency, See, I already vaguely knew I wanted and needed these things all my effing life. And every relationship I've ever get in, I would try to fight for those things, but I never had them fully articulated. God damn it. Wait a minute. It's not all gloom and doom. See you in the funny papers.